All right, so here we are. Today is day 50 of the Trump administration. The commander-in-chief has been rapidly moving to keep his promises to you, the American people, the things he campaigned on. He detailed a very specific agenda and has been going down the list, checking items off one by one. And today also, good news, we learned that 235,000 new jobs were created in February alone. Of course, don't expect the alt-left propaganda media to report all of the good things that the president has accomplished in 50 short days. Now, the biased press, they would rather focus on anti-Trump conspiracies such as this.
CNN has learned that the nation's top intelligence officials provided information to President-elect Donald Trump and to President Barack Obama last week about claims of Russian efforts to compromise President-elect Trump.
CNN learns the FBI is continuing to investigate an odd computer link between a Russian bank and the Trump organization.
Vladimir Putin over there in the Kremlin did everything he could to put guess who in the White House.
Well, no matter how much improvement America sees over the next 4 years, no matter how many jobs are added, no matter how much wealth will be generated, that kind of Russia-obsessed conspiracy propaganda, it appears that's all you're going to hear from the left-wing media. Now, meanwhile, none of the so-called journalists are even willing to conduct an investigation behind this unprecedented and, in some cases, absolutely criminal leaks that are happening in Washington, like the ones you see right there on your screen. Those are leaks since Trump's become president. However, at Circa News, two very well-respected journalists, they have conducted a thorough investigation into the Trump-Russia collusion claims. And what did they discover? Just weeks before the election, the FBI received a warrant to investigate a server connected to Donald Trump's businesses, but they found no wrongdoing, no collusion with the Russians. And around the same time, in fact, in October, a FISA warrant was also granted to investigate potential Russian influence in the election. Now, if the mainstream media cared about presenting the whole truth, they should run headlines like this. Federal investigation finds no evidence to date that Trump campaign colluded with Russia. I'm not going to hold my breath that someone will actually publish this, even though they should tell the American people the truth. And that's the problem. Time and time again, the media is so focused on pushing their radical, lazy agenda, they fail to see the truth that's right in front of them. Now, they never vetted Barack Obama. They never admitted to colluding with the Clinton campaign and acting as their surrogate. And they utterly failed to predict the rise of President Trump. So who can disagree with me that they are abusively biased? Who can disagree with Steve Bannon when he calls them the opposition party in this country? Now, many in the media, they're so deeply invested in seeing that President Trump fails, well, many deep state, Obama-era holdovers, they're still entrenched in government. And by the way, I'm not the only one that feels this way. For example, former Democratic Congressman Dennis Kucinich, he said that President Trump has a point about the wiretapping. Take a look.
People who are saying about President Trump's claim, oh, it could never happen. Well, frankly, it happened to me. And I had proof because the Washington Times actually let me listen into a tape that was made of a conversation in my congressional office. It was a conversation between myself and a foreign leader. The conversation was approved and cleared by House attorneys who said, yes, you can do that. That's your constitutional right. But someone had intercepted it, that my phone wasn't safe in a congressional office. Now, if they can do that to a member of Congress, they can certainly do it to a presidential candidate, and they can do it to private citizens as well.
Dennis Kucinich is right. And former Clinton campaign manager Robbie Mook, he also confirmed that some Trump campaign conversations were, in fact, wiretapped. Watch this.
You say there was a wiretap, that there was a wiretap of Russian agents, and that those Russian agents were communicating with Trump staff. That's why they were picked up. That's
How do you know
what the
that?
Intelligence community. That's what the intelligence community has told us. That's what's been reported very widely. Those are the facts.
All right, you, the American people, you deserve truthful answers. For example, what did the Clinton campaign know? When did they know it? And last night I said it was time for President Trump to clean house. It has to happen. Sean Spicer had this to say when asked about all these Obama deep state shadow government holdovers. Take a look.
I think that there's no question when you have 8 years of one party in office that there are people who stay in government, who are affiliated with, joined and continue to espouse the agenda of the previous administration. So I don't think it should come as any surprise that there are people that burrowed into government during 8 years of the last administration, and may have believed in that agenda and want to continue to seek it. I don't think that should come as a surprise to anyone.
Now, today, the Trump administration, they took the first step into purging deep state actors. According to a DOJ spokesperson, quote, the Attorney General has now asked the remaining 46 presidentially appointed U.S. attorneys to tender their resignations in order to ensure a uniform transition.